everyone. I am Kanisha Grayson, founder and CEO of The Art of Applying, and I'm here today with one of our clients who has great news to share, and she has graciously volunteered to share her story. Her name is Xena, and hi, Xena.
Hi.
So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
What I like to start with is the great news. So go ahead and share with everyone your great news.
Well, I've recently been accepted to a couple schools, one of them being Rutgers and New York Law School. And I'm very happy about that because it's, it's near my area. Although I did apply to other schools in other regions, I'm glad some sort of safety schools near my area accepted me.
Wonderful. Oh, keep going.
No, I was just going to say, I think we're going to get into this anyway, just considering factors that go into being able to get into certain law schools, depending on your LSAT, your GPA and all that. But I guess we're going to get into that, right?
We sure are.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
We're totally going to get into that. So congratulations. So far we have yes from Rutgers and a yes from New York Law School.
Yes, I have a couple other acceptances, but these particularly made me happy just because I guess they're higher ranked, so it's better. I have an acceptance from St. Thomas in Miami.
Okay.
And I've actually been waitlisted at Stetson, which I actually went to visit that school 2 weeks ago, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. So I'm glad I was waitlisted there.
Yes, and Xena, we're here to support you with getting off the wait list too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so right after this interview, we can just chat for like 10, 15 minutes and talk about some stuff that you can do.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, wonderful. So Xena, how does it feel? So you have 2 acceptances, a wait list. Oh no, 3 acceptances and a wait list so far.
It feels like a big weight is off my shoulders. I feel like for a while, a couple months, through the application process, I felt a little lost. You just don't know where you're going to end up going, who's going to accept you, who's going to reject you. But it definitely feels a lot better now that I know I have an idea of maybe I could choose somewhere I could go. Before I felt like I didn't have a choice. So it feels good to know I have a choice now.
That's beautiful. Yes, now you have choices. Not even just like, I got in somewhere. You actually get to choose.
Exactly. Feels amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you did bring up LSAT and GPA and things like that. What people always want to know is, as much as you're willing to share, they want to know, Xena, your camera went, there we go. It's back. It's okay. What people always want to know is your stats. So share whichever stats you feel comfortable about. So that would be age, GPA, where you went to college, what you studied, what you got on the LSAT, how many times you took it, just to kind of give them an idea of your profile so that people watching can be like, okay, like if she got in with those stats, I can too.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm 22 years old. I graduated from Fairleigh Dickinson University here in New Jersey. Last May. I took the LSAT for the first time June of 2018, and I didn't do so great. I was having some medical problems, like I had like a problem with my eyesight where I couldn't see well. Nonetheless, I took the exam because I figured I had already been studying since March, and I actually started studying with test masters. I'm pretty sure people who are prepared for the LSAT are familiar with that prep course. I started studying with them. And when I took it, I didn't feel confident initially, and I felt like I didn't do the best I know I could have done. So when I received my score, I actually got a 140, which everybody knows that's taking the LSAT. There's really no school, even the lowest ranked schools probably will not even give you a chance, I guess, per se, So I decided to take it again. So I signed up for the November one. And I was allotted more time, and I was given accommodation to take it with more time due to my vision problem. I provided them with paperwork from my doctor and whatnot, and I scored a 150. Still not my best, so I think that also brought me a little bit down. And I actually spoke to my consultant about that, and I had said to her, I'm worried I'm not going to get into the schools I had hoped I would get into, because in the LSAT, a point or two make a difference into what schools accept you, and as crazy as it sounds. So I went ahead and I applied anyway. But I think what really helped me is pointing out something else other than my score. Like, I am more than my score, right? So my GPA in college, I graduated with honors, 3.4. I think it could have been better, but then I pointed out other things which my consultant helped me do, which is my job experience. And I think that's what really, really helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Working for a lawyer for 6+ years since high school, having that background, I think that's what really, really helped me. So if I could say anything to anybody who's applying right now, it's really work on your work experience, because a lot of law schools right now are actually giving more weight to that rather than your GPA or your LSAT. They really want to know, okay, what type of real world experience are you preparing yourself for? Are you having?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Xena, you're only 22, so that means for the last 6 years during college.
Yes, during college I worked.
Wait, 22? That means were you doing it in high school?
Yes. So in high school, I applied for what's called a CBE program. So basically, they work with local businesses around the area that give kids the opportunity to intern in at their workplace. I actually initially wanted to work for a psychologist. Because I always thought I wanted to get in the criminal justice system, but I wanted to do something like forensic psychology. And I remember we had no ties to any psychologist. So she had said to me, I have a lawyer who would like to interview you. And I said, okay. I wasn't super excited about it, but now that I look back, it was like the best choice I could have made. Like, I can't imagine where I'd be if I didn't work there and I didn't meet the people that I met. But usually after your senior year of high school, which is when you start working there, I started working there my junior year of high school into my senior year. Usually after your senior year of high school, you graduate from high school and you move on with your life. They asked me to stay. Since I was commuting back and forth, I wasn't going to dorm anywhere, far. So I accepted. I was more than happy. I loved the office. I loved the people I worked with. It's a small office, so it's kind of like a family. So I decided to stay and work there full time during my first year of college. They were very accommodating. They helped me out because, they knew it was important. My second year, I traveled abroad, and they said to me, you better come right back after, I traveled abroad to Germany. I lived there for 2 semesters. And right after coming back, I started working there again, and I've been there since for 6 years now. So.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. So Xena, some people might be like, I've been working for 6 years for a lawyer. I'm going to get in somewhere. I'll just do it on my own. What made you decide I'm not going to do it on my own? I want help.
I think what made me decide was I needed someone else's opinion as far as how to structure it. Now that I look at my resume, the way I had it before meeting you guys and, working with my consultants, it's completely different. It's so many little things that I would have not thought of adding or wording it a certain way. Or just certain things my consultant said, oh, have you done this? Or like, have you volunteered anywhere? Like hobbies. I would have never thought I could add that to my resume. So I'm glad I approached you guys and I was able to have an understanding of what I should add to an academic resume, because I really didn't know what an academic resume was. I know what a job resume is and what it should have. But so I think it really made a difference in how I worded things, structured things, and even with my essays, what I should talk about. I know I was having a hard time before meeting you guys. I was having a hard time thinking about personal statements topics, and I had made a list when I started working with my consultant, and she made me think of things I didn't even think about. Like just by talking to me and getting to know me, like, oh, so what did you do when you studied abroad, and so on and so on. It made me think of topics I could really talk about and people would probably be really interested in.
Fantastic. So the one thing I still didn't hear, Xena, I heard that you liked working with us, which I'm very happy to hear.
Yes.
But what made you reach out in the first place? Were you looking for admissions consultant? Do you remember how you found out about the art of applying?
I think I saw you guys on a newspaper article. I don't remember exactly which one, but I know it was online, and I was researching law schools, and when you're applying to law school or even grad school, I think you become a little obsessive with all you do is research anything about that. So I remember I was reading anything and everything I could about law schools, and I think somewhere in my research I stumbled upon you guys and how you guys could help me. You know, as long as I put my part and give my 100%, you guys will help me and be there and support me and to getting into law school, and most not just law school, but most specifically a law school I would really want to go to and that I'm going to be happy in. So.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so talk to everyone about what happened on the breakthrough call and how you felt on the breakthrough call.
Yeah, so I actually had my breakthrough. Am I allowed to say his name?
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah.
Jordan, okay. I had my breakthrough call with Jordan with my mom present. She doesn't speak English, so I mean, you know, me and him just discussed in English, but every so I would, you know, translate to her, and I think he asked me a lot of questions that I didn't actually put into perspective at the beginning when I was trying to pursue, you know, law school. He asked me things like, okay, where do you want to go to law school? Are you okay with leaving New Jersey? All these, you know, all these things which come into play when you're applying to different, you know, different law schools that will give you different opportunities. But you know, with my mom being present, she had a lot of questions, and he was very helpful. And he did state, you know, we will help her 100% as long as she helps herself as well. Which I think people have a misunderstanding on how this works. They think, okay, let me just get with you know, this company, and they will do everything for me, and they will get me into law school or into grad school. But it's important to understand that you have to help yourself. And I think he made me understand that at the beginning, because when I was reading about consulting and, you know, admissions consulting, I was like, oh, they're going to do everything for me. They're going to get me in. But then he kind of like, he was very, you know, specific on like, you have to help yourself. As long as you do it, trust me, we'll make it happen for you, as long as we notice that you're trying to make it happen. So.
Wonderful. Beautiful. So your mom joined you for your breakthrough call, even though she doesn't speak English. How did you feel when Jordan said, hey, Xena, thanks for requesting a call. We're excited to talk to you, but you have to bring your mom. How did you feel when he said that?
I like that because I love my mom. I include my mom in everything. So, you know, I was happy that she wanted, you know, she was included in it, and her questions mattered. Because I think, I mean, she's going to be a big part of my law school journey in general. I'm not doing this on my own. So I'm glad I had her join, and you guys allowed her to join me.
Yes, thank you so much for bringing her. Actually, a lot of our clients, Xena, their parents speak another language. It's a lot of our clients. And sometimes people will request a breakthrough call, and then they'll say, oh, well, my parents speak Mandarin, or they speak Urdu. They don't speak English, so I'm not going to bring them. What would you say to those people, why they should still bring their parents, even if they're going to need to translate?
I think it's important to bring your parents, because they're going to have a lot of, for example, during my breakthrough call, there were questions my mom was asking to Jordan from, you know, asking me to translate and ask him that I didn't even think of in the moment. So I think they see things differently than we do. We're younger, you know, they're adults, you know, they've been through life already. So I think it's important to have your parents there, because there's going to be things you're not going to think about asking, or how does something work and whatnot. And it's important to have them there, and their opinion matters, you know. Yes,
wonderful. And talk to us about what surprised you the most once you started working with us. What surprised you the most about the process, the experience, or anything compared to what you thought was going to happen?
I think what surprised me the most was the relationship I built with my consultant. I thought it was going to be a very more of a work and very serious, but I remember our first call, she was so nice, and it kind of felt like I knew her already. Like she didn't intimidate me, and I liked that. I was a little nervous about my first call, like, because I said, I don't know if how they're going to be, or am I going to feel intimidated? But she was wonderful. And until this day, she's very supportive. Like, you know, I still talk to her. I let her know what's going on. And I like that I feel comfortable enough letting her know what's going on in my life.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Okay, so talk to us about what kind of law you want to practice. What kind of change are you going to be able to bring about in the world now that you're headed off to law school?
Well, I work for a criminal attorney. He also does some civil litigation. So I would really like to get into public interest work. So some criminal, some immigration specifically, just because my mom was an immigrant. So I'm the product of, an immigrant parent. Mm-hmm. My father actually faced deportation. So that's also like very important. So it's something I would really like to do. So my main focus would be immigration, and I also would really, really love to work with the Innocence Project and the wrongfully convicted. And this stems out of my senior year of high school, when I was already working for, the defense attorney.
And don't say that person's name. I know this story, Xena, from reading your essays. So don't tell us. Don't tell us the person's name.
Okay, I will not. He showed us a Dateline, a documentary, and it was about a young man who was wrongfully convicted. And not until we got into the documentary itself, he explained to us, this person actually went to your high school 20 some years ago, and I was his teacher. And we continued watching the documentary, and he was wrongfully convicted of shooting someone and killing the person. And he spent 6-7 years of his life in jail. He didn't get to graduate high school. His mom passed away in the time where he was trying to fight it. And a civil rights attorney who was retired, she read about his case in the paper, and she decided to use all her retirement money and her savings to help him get out of jail. And I just thought that was so amazing, and like how she was so selfless enough to put her needs, as a retired, person to the side to help someone who still had his whole life ahead of him. And I think that really, I know it really inspired me to want to work with people who have lost most of their life because of being wrongfully convicted, but still have an opportunity to live out their life. And,
Wonderful. So you're going to be changing people's lives.
Yes.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing, and that's another thing I want to express, that going into law, for a lot of people it might be monetary reasons, but for me it really isn't. Like I would love, like that would be my my return, to see people happy and to see them free, and to just do right by their name.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Was this your first time applying to law school? Had you applied already, or was this your...
This was my first time, yeah.
Okay, great. I'm so happy you were able to do it just once and do it right.
Yeah, I'm happy too, yeah.
Great. Are there schools that you're still waiting to hear from?
Michigan State. I'm still waiting to hear from them, and Florida State University.
Mm-hmm. And how are you going to choose?
I think right now my heart is set on either Rutgers or Stetson if they accept me, because I'm still on their wait list. I applied to Michigan State. I'm not a big fan of the cold, but I applied because I said, why not? Why not? FSU would be a thought, because they're it's one of Florida's best law schools. So that would definitely be a thought.
Okay. So we still have some more good news on it.
Yeah.
So I would love to shake it up a bit and maybe have you say something in Spanish to any parents that are watching this video who are like, what is this thing? Why do you have to pay? Why can't you just read a book and do it? I would love for you to share something with the Spanish-speaking parents.
Okay. Just say it now in Spanish?
Yeah, you can say whatever you like in Spanish. Yeah.
Okay. Bueno, para los padres que están escuchando este video, la razón por la cual yo decidí consultar con esta compañía es porque ellos te ayudan a prepararle al estudiante en base del resumen de la escritura que tendrían que entregar a las universidades, y le ayudan al estudiante a chequear sus documentos de otra perspectiva. Y es una buena cosa tener una segunda opinión. Por eso es que yo y mi madre decidimos continuar con esta compañía. para, para que me ayude a mí entrar a la universidad de mis sueños, incluyendo la de ley. Y es algo muy importante para los estudiantes, especialmente que vienen de nuestra raza, que no tienen muchas oportunidades o que los padres no tienen mucho entendimiento de cómo funcionan las universidades, igual que mi mamá, porque mi mamá no fue a la universidad. Es importante tener a un grupo de gente que puedan guiar al estudiante llegar a sus sueños.
Beautiful. Gracias.
De nada.
Wonderful. And so what would you say to, let's say, a young woman, let's say she's Latina, she did pretty well in college, she's watching this video like, oh, wow, like, good for her, I'm happy for her, but I don't know if this is going to happen for me. And, you know, she just is like happy, she's looking up to you, let's say maybe she's 21 or about to graduate college in a similar situation, maybe first generation American, or maybe she's first generation college or both. And she's just like scared, like, can this really work for me?
Right.
What would you say to her?
Well, what I would say is, not so long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I was in your exact same position. So even, even with you know, my background and how wonderful my application looks, because it really did look really nice. Everything, you know, you guys helped me create, from my resume to my diversity statement to my personal statement to organizing my letters of recommendations. It's still a scary process, especially if you feel like you don't have the numbers or the GPA to make an impact to the school. But I would just say, stay confident, think positive more than anything. I'm a big believer that whatever you give off to the universe will give back. So if you surround yourself by negativity all the time, nothing but negative things are going to occur in your life. So constantly just positive affirmations. I'm a big believer in positive affirmations, or just visualizing where I'm going to be. So it's funny because with one of the consultants that I had spoken to, that we have the mediation calls with, we had like the 3 meetings.
The mindset calls.
Mindset. She had said to me, what are you going to do to help yourself? And this is before I took the second LSAT. And I said, I'm going to visualize myself calling my boyfriend, calling my mom, and telling them all the law schools I got into. And everything I told her, I've done. I've called everybody the same way I told her, and I thought it was important and she told me it's important. Keep visualizing yourself. And it's true. Because the more I visualized myself, the more I believed it, and the more I believed in me. And I think that's so important for someone coming from, you know, someone who doesn't have parents that went to university. So I feel like we lack a lot of resources that put us in a position where we have to try a little harder than someone who might have had the opportunity and had the resources to just have a really great education and not worry about having to work, which is wonderful. If you didn't have to worry about working during college, good for you. You know, I wouldn't take that away from anybody. But if someone was in my position, or like a lot of people's position, where you have to work full time in college, and maybe you felt like you could have done better if you didn't have to work, you know, props to you, because you had it harder and you still made it and you still graduated, and that's wonderful. And that's something that I think a lot of universities appreciate, and they love to see that, like, wow, okay, a lot of things got in your way, but you still got it done and you're here now.
That's right. Oh, beautifully said.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share with the people out there watching the video? Already, everything that you've shared, Xena, I know is going to be so inspiring to people who are thinking, can this happen for me? So it's already been awesome, but I wanted to just leave the floor open to you for anything else you want to share.
Well, I think it's, like I've already said, I think it's important to believe in yourself, but also don't be scared to put yourself out there to not only make yourself feel better, because I don't want to like put it in that way, but show schools that you're really interested. Like, for example, volunteering in different places. One, it's going to make you feel better as a person, volunteering in different places, but it's also going to make your resume look great. So definitely volunteer. Don't be scared. Take extra classes. Join groups, join organizations. You know, like run in a marathon, and actually law schools and grad schools in general, they like to see what you like to do in your spare time. And if you like to do something that's going to take up a lot of your time, but you can also go to school and work and all that stuff, it's wonderful. Because I did something like that during my time in college. I did bodybuilding, which is very strenuous. I went to the gym twice a day. I had I had a very strict regimen with the way I ate, and I went to school and I worked, and I was tired all the time, but I got it done. And I think it was a way for me to show how I could, if I have a goal in mind, I'm gonna accomplish it no matter what. And that was just my way of showing law schools, like, if I could do this, I could do anything.
That's right. That's right. I love it. And how much of what you just shared, some of those awesome tips, which of those were tips that you learned from working with us and with your consultant?
Well, with my consultant, she was very supportive of where I wanted to go, even though certain law schools didn't seem it was like a big reach. She was still very supportive, and she voiced a lot. Okay, you go volunteer, join something that has to do with this. If you want to do immigration, join. And so I had signed up for a place called Immigration Equality. So she gave me the idea, she helped me understand what accommodation for LSAT was. Like, she helped me understand a lot of things that I had no idea I could do. So I would have probably never tried to ask LSAT for more time on my exam if she would have never told me, hey, Kay, this could actually, you could do something about this. It's not something that can't be helped or, can't be fixed. As far as my mindset coach, she really helped me in visualizing where I wanted to be. And she was very, how do I say it? Everything from her voice to the way she was so soothing to me. Like, she was wonderful, like her advice. And, I'm just glad I joined you guys, because I don't think I would have been able to do it without you guys.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Xena.
No problem.
Thanks for watching our video. For more videos just like this, make sure you click subscribe. And if you want to work with us on your graduate school applications, visit us at theartofapplying.com or click on the link below in the description.